But there's no cake. And they're not here either. Please take your seats. Turn off your cell phones. We'll start in a few minutes. We have no cake. Sure, darling. I'd make me see better too. Are we okay? I don't know. No. It says Chris. I didn't see him. So your page is open there.
Oh, that's my page. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to read that?
I don't know. They're ready. Good afternoon, honored guests, families, and friends, and the Cogeco viewing audience. I'm Paisley Janbury Poole, Chair of the Sports Wall of Fame, and your MC for the afternoon. It's the appointed hour of 2 p.m. on Sunday, January the 27th, 2019, and the celebrations will begin. This is the 30th Annual Sports Wall of Fame induction ceremony. I hope you all have a program and you follow it from beginning to end. We'll begin now with the singing of O Canada, led by Miss Casey Hyde, and you are invited to sing along.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Casey. We also want to acknowledge with thanks at this time the nominators of our inductees for today. We often get asked, how come somebody's not on the wall? And the answer is, you have to be nominated. So if you know of somebody that should be on the wall, then it's your job to get that nomination in for us. I'm going to direct your attention to the large screen and wait till you see who comes on. Welcome, welcome. This is the 30th meeting of the Sports Wall of Fame. Wow, 30 years. We first began at the Niagara Falls Memorial Arena. It was a time to honor Niagara Falls athletes, builders, teams that have gone on to show their prowess. Niagara Falls needs to be proud of all of these young people at the time, old people now. Time has moved on. 30 years, my gosh. We have new people involved. We have a new place to meet. We're here at the Gale Center. And you get to look around and see over 300 plaques of people that have been inducted over these years. We need to thank all the people that over the years have helped us. The nominators, the inductees, the families, the staff, our committee members, and all of you for supporting us and supporting the wall. Today we're remembering 30 years. May it go on forever. Please enjoy your day. Had to wear the same jacket. I'd like to introduce Councillor Victor Pietrangelo.
Thank you, Paisley. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to be here on behalf of Mayor Diodati and my fellow members of City Council. I just wanted to start off by relaying a personal message from Mayor Jim. I'm sure everyone in the room understands what Jim is going through right now, but there is a lot of positiveness to it in the sense that he's very happy that he has finished his chemotherapy schedule and says that each and every day that goes by, he is getting stronger. Funny little story, when I was out the other day, I ran into an elderly lady and she asked me how the mayor was doing. And I told her the same thing, you know, he's finished his chemotherapy and every day that goes by he's getting stronger. And she says to me, she says, you know, I don't always agree with him. And then there was a pause and she said, but I do always pray for him. And I said, you know, I think Mayor Jim would really appreciate that. So, like anyone who's in Jim's situation and is looking forward to getting back on their feet, we wish him Godspeed in his recovery. Just wanted to mention some of the dignitaries that are here today. I do have regrets from our Member of Parliament, Mr. Rob Nicholson, and also our Member of Provincial Parliament, Mr. Wayne Gates, who are usually here but couldn't make it today. We have Regional Councillor Peter Nicholson with us. Welcome, Peter. And we also have City Councillors Chris Dabrowski and Lori Lococo with us. Welcome to both of you. Wanted to mention as well that we really owe a great deal of thanks to the people who are behind the scenes. And I know Paisley is the face of the Sports Wall of Fame committee, but the committee itself is made up of a lot of people who give their time to evaluate all the applications that come in and then make the decisions of who goes on the wall. And I know Paisley really holds this near and dear to her heart. She's been doing it ever since its inception, which, as she mentioned, was 30 years ago. And I can still remember a number of years back when I first made it onto City Council, the open seat was next to Paisley. So I had never met Paisley before, but that's where I ended up sitting. And for anyone who knows Paisley, she's not shy to share her opinions, but in the same sense, she's very motherly. She quickly became a very good support to myself. And a number of years after that, when she was no longer going to be on City Council, I can remember her saying to me, it would be really nice if I could continue on with the Sports Wall of Fame. And Paisley, I'm very happy to say that the Council of the Day obviously made the right decision because once again, it's a fabulous event and I know everyone who gets inducted really finds it to be a great honor. So thank you for all that you and your committee do. I just wanted to take a moment as well and congratulate all of the inductees of today. I know we have some former Mustangs over here who are quite proud to go on the wall. To me, leading an active lifestyle has always been important, and I have a little bit of a competitive edge to myself. So I've always had an admiration for people who do well in any sport. It doesn't matter what it is. And to me, there's always been two sides to that. There's the physical side, the accolades that people receive, the trophies that they amount, the times that they're in the paper, the titles that they gain. But the other side of it really is the mental side, and I really find that to be very impressive. You know, the fact that you bunker down and make sure that you are dedicated to your sport, that you put in hard work, that you have the discipline to treat your body properly, that you're able to perform and succeed under pressure. All those parts of the mental side of it, I find to be very admirable. So looking through the inductees today, I guess on behalf of myself and my fellow members of City Council, I just want to say congratulations to all of you. Very well deserved that you're all going on the wall. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Victor. Now I'd like you to enjoy a message from Gord Singleton, who is a member of our Sports Wall of Fame committee and a former inductee and the sponsor of this year's induction ceremony. So let's see if it works this time.
Well, my name's Gordon Singleton. I was born and raised in Niagara Falls. I had the great fortune of being a two-time Olympian, represented Canada at multiple international championships, accomplished many great things, and because of that, I'm a member of the Sports Wall of Fame. After I was inducted in 1988, I enjoyed the camaraderie and what it was all about so much that I actually became part of the committee, and I've been there ever since, which is now 30 years. I'm currently the owner of Niagara Battery and Tire, a business that my father started in 1957, and we're trying to continue that tradition to this day. One of the most interesting things that I've absorbed since I've been a member of the committee of the Sports Wall of Fame following for 30 years, Niagara Falls is entrenched in some great athletes. If you have the opportunity to go on the website, check them out. We had the great basketball teams of NFCBI in the 60s, which were coached by the fantastic Jimmy Rose. The Stanford CVI football teams were great. We had our most famous NHLer was Derek Sanderson. It's great to watch people that were selected for induction to stand back and you see their emotional reaction as they accept their award. And for many of them, this is the culmination of many years of what they accomplished in sports and in life, and now it's time to be honored on the wall. It's a great thing to watch.
We're excited to celebrate our 30th anniversary and to bring you a new format for today's ceremony. The procedure for today's induction will be, I'll call up a presenter who is a member of our committee. They'll come to the podium and they'll provide a short introduction of each inductee, and then a video will play. Then the presenter will invite the inductee to the stage. Councillor Pietrangelo will present the plaque, and the recipient will have an opportunity to speak for no more than 2 minutes. This year we have 6 inductees. So we're ready to start. This is the pre-1990 era. That might seem a long time ago to you people, but to old people like me, it was just the other day. So I'd like to call up the presenter, Brian Mulligan, for the first award recipients, who will be Ernie Reinhardt and Emil Badovinac, builders of Slow Pitch. Do you have your page?
Oh, yeah. It's good. It's my pleasure to introduce Ernie Reinhardt and Sonny Badovinac. They're being honored as builders in the sport of slow pitch. Sonny and Ernie introduced the game of slow pitch to Niagara. From there, they shared their passion for slow pitch and their formula for its success, and it was adopted across the country, and it's one of the biggest sporting events in the summer in Canada. They also brought new meaning to the phrase, "Let's play ball." I'd like you to, ladies and gentlemen, turn to the screen. We have just a short video.
I think these two men should be on the Sports Wall of Fame because they had a vision about slow pitch. They had a vision. They saw a void in recreational sports in the 60s and 70s. Slow pitch recreational gave people who are not as competitive a place to play. If I remember, Sonny and Ernie were good fastball players. They were infielders. But they got kind of bored when they had a good pitcher and they saw all the other teams have good pitchers and they pitched too fast. So it was basically a game between the pitcher and the catcher. And they thought, we've got to devise a different type of game. Maybe a game where the pitcher lobs the ball up slowly to the batters and the batters come into play. They're not always striking out, and the ball's hit to the infielders and the outfielders, and everybody participates. I think the number of teams actually doubled over the course of the first 3, 4, 5 years until 1980, when they had something like 226 teams in a tournament. I think that tremendous growth led to the formation by Ernie and Sonny of Slow Pitch Canada, and it's been great ever since. Slow pitch in Niagara has become more than a game or a sport. It's become sort of a culture, a place to play. And for this, we can largely thank Ernie Reinhardt and Sonny Badanovic.
I'd like to call to the stage now the Sports Wall of Fame recipient, Ernie Reinhardt. Okay, buddy? Good. Oh, sorry. AJ, you snuck in on me, buddy.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, Anthony Bonovac, representing his father, Sonny Bonovac.
Well, I never thought I would be nervous, but I am. This is an honor and a privilege to be here. And for that, I have to thank Mayor Diodati, the City Council, the Wall of Fame Committee, Mike Strange, Lori Albanese, and Michael Clarkson for that great video. I also would like to thank my son Dion, who got me thinking about this a few years ago, my stepson Eric, who, while my wife Krista had a couple of friends come over and say, why aren't you on the Wall of Fame? And I said, I don't know anything about it. So that started me thinking. And it was moved forward by a friend of mine, Brad Arbick, who said, you know, I've got a friend in Niagara Falls by the name of Mike Strange, and Mike Strange would really like to hear your story. So he put it together, and I met Mike, and it was Mike Strange that nominated me, so I have to thank Mike Strange for that. After the thank yous, I wasn't quite sure what else I was going to say, except I just happened to be watching TV the other night, and I saw an interview with the great boxer. I'm a big boxing fan, and it was an interview with Sugar Ray Leonard, and it covered his whole life pretty much and all of his great fights. And the interviewer said to him, well, of all of the great people that you fought and all your successes and all the money that you made, what stands out? And Leonard said, well, it was none of that. He said, it was the Olympic gold medal that stands out. Money didn't mean anything, and I did fight the best, but he said that Olympic gold stands out for me. And he said, you know, everybody gives me all this credit. Sure, I got in the ring, he said, but I had a great team behind me, and I had a great corner. And I thought, well, you know, this is analogous, because I thought that for me and son, this is our Olympic gold. And we had a team and a great corner, and that was the city of Niagara Falls. So I want to thank the city for this.
Well done. I'd like to now call on Paul Campagato for the next award recipient, who is Ron Gallen, Builder of Boxing.
Thank you, Paisley. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Ron Gallen. Ron is being honored as a builder in boxing. He's been coaching for over 40 years and has coached hundreds of local boxers, including Mike Strange, Chuck Moscato, Eddie Dawson, and Scotty Paul. And he has seen his athletes win numerous provincial, national, and world championships. Ron has been a longtime member of the Boxing Canada's National Board of Directors. Yet beyond these accomplishments, and perhaps just as impactful, was when Ron brought boxing equipment to the disadvantaged athletes in Cuba. So I guess you can say that it's his fault that Cuba kicks our butts in the Olympics every year. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for a brief video.
Ron is such a good coach. The way he coaches, I think, is key especially for youth now. He's not in your face, doesn't yell. He's not this. He's been at it for 40 years, so he knows what he's talking about. He was there when I had to train, got up early in the morning. He trained. He got up early in the morning with me. At night when I trained twice a day, he was there both times when I had to lose the weight, and losing the weight in boxing, it's always a tough part. It's a tough aspect of it, but he was always there with me, and I think that's one of the biggest things. You're there and you support your fighters and your athletes all the time, and he was always there full support.
Please welcome to the stage Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame recipient, Ron Gallen.
Okay, I won't be long. I'd like to thank Laurie and the Recreation Commission for doing a great job every year. I've been involved in boxing 40 years, and thanks to my wife for being very supportive over all these years. She's done a lot of work herself for the Niagara Falls Boxing Club, and she's a certified level 2 coach now, so good for her. I'd like to thank a lot of former and current coaches. It takes more than one person to run a gym, and I've had the fortunate of being associated with a lot of good people. I'd like to thank John Conlon, Hector Bordenave, Chuck Moscato Sr., Matt Campbell, and the current coaches, Scotty Paul, Scott Copeland, and Stephanie Van Sandwick. Without these people, I don't know if I could have done it on my own. The young fella you seen in the video hitting the hand pads was Patrick O'Sullivan, current boxer and apprentice coach with the Niagara Falls Boxing Club. So it's good to see that the youth come right through the gym. Again, I'd like to thank everyone, and it truly is a good honor. Thank you. Sure.
Now we're moving on to the 1991 to the present era. I'm calling on Gord Singleton for the next award recipient, Gary McDonald, Builder of Rugby.
It's my pleasure to introduce Gary McDonald. Gary is being honored as a builder in rugby for the 1991 to the present day era. Gary had a successful playing career that included top-flight rugby in Ontario and playing in the national leagues in England. However, it was his desire to recruit players and drew him into coaching. He coached at a variety of levels, from flag to the Scottish women's national A team. Gary has had the distinction of winning numerous provincial and 3 national rugby championships. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen.
Gary should be on the Wall of Fame for 30 years of coaching at all different levels. He should be on the Wall of Fame for developing the sport here in Niagara Falls and throughout the province. Gary's coaching includes A.N. Myers Secondary School and Stanford Collegiate Rugby teams, Niagara University Women's Rugby team, University of Buffalo Women's Rugby team. Coaching in the United Kingdom with the London Wasps Women's Rugby team and the Scottish Women's National A team through the Five Nations Championship, which includes Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland, and France. It is now known as the Six Nation Championship with the inclusion of Italy. He was the head coach of the St. Catharines Tigers Rugby Club. Gary coached the Ontario Senior Women's Rugby team, where the team were national finalists in 2002 and won the 2003 National Championships. Gary has also coached the Ontario Premier Rugby teams in the Stony Creek Club, Niagara Thunder Senior Men's Rugby Team, and Niagara Lightning Under 21 Representative Rugby in the National Super Leagues. In 2008, Gary led the Niagara Lightning to National Championship, and in 2009 attained a third National Championship with the Ontario Under 21 Men's Rugby Team. Gary has more than 30 years of coaching rugby and continues coaching today. He is very deserving to be on the Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame. I think he carried on philosophy. Come on out, play the game, enjoy it, and have fun.
Please welcome to the stage Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame recipient Gary McDonald.
Congratulations. Say your speech and then we'll give it.
I made my speech extra long for Paisley. Thank you for coming, and thank you to the Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame Committee for nominating or for this honor and running this wonderful event. And congratulations to my fellow recipients. Being on the committee, I get to read their profiles, and some amazing people have passed through the city, and this group is incredible. Thank you, Fred, for speaking in the video. And Fred literally gave me my first whistle and is on the Wall of Fame himself. Receiving this award is an incredible honor. I think the only greater honor was when my wife, Sarah, agreed to marry this poor old rugby bum, and we got to start our family. I don't see this as an individual award. It literally is the ultimate team award. You couldn't fit everybody into the room that deserves recognition for helping me achieve this honor. From the athletes, the coaches, the sports administrators, the families that have supported the athletes and the teams that I've had the pleasure to work with. I've been especially fortunate to have some incredible coaches, Cliff Walters and Brian Donaldson from my high school, Richard Deschatelet, Mick Green, Fred Kovacs at Brock, Derek Bowl at my rugby club at Niagara. I've been blessed to work with great coaches. As a coach, Wayne Hodgson and other sports administrators, Wayne Hodgson, who allowed me to start the first women's team in Niagara. He's also on the Wall of Fame. Chris Hodgson, who brought me back to Niagara from Stony Creek. Gary Whitley, Dave Burnett, Sean Corcoran, and others. Special shout out to Dyrese Jones, who was president of the Niagara Rugby Union back when I first started coaching. He encouraged me to start the women's representative rugby in Niagara and the under 21 men's team. And he said to me, he goes, his belief in me was, you will push our athletes onto the national stage where they belong. And that gave me the confidence to pursue coaching at the next level. I've been fortunate to see a number of athletes go on to play for Canada, two of who are from Niagara Falls and are on our Sports Wall of Fame, Nino Oriscanen and Tabitha Stavro. Tess Miller, Ray Barkwell is getting ready for a World Cup, Colette McCauley, Marie Gallo, Roy McDonnell, and others. It's a wonderful feeling to contribute, even in a small way, to other people's dreams. One of the most satisfying parts of having a long career in coaching is seeing former players go on to coach. Tabitha Stavro coach, Adam Grant, Kitch Howard, Colette McCauley, Steph Pavlovich, Mary Valpel, and Kate Allen. And it was funny, I was at a tournament, and Kate Allen brought her team down from Barrie, and she gave me a big hug and introduced me to her players and said, hey, this was my coach. You know all those crazy stories I tell you about? Well, this was my coach. So I'm like, oh my God. But it didn't help that I was actually, it was the Meyer prom dress tournament, and my girls had put me in a dress. So it's, it's hard to... One of the incredible aspects of coaching that motivates me is how inspired I am by the athletes. I've easily learned as much from them as I've ever taught. And one of my most special moments coaching wasn't actually on the rugby field, but was on the wrestling mat. A young man named Mark, who happened to have Down syndrome, loved wrestling, and he came out from grade 9 through to his senior year and had never won a match. And we were finally hosting a tournament at Stanford, where I was teaching at the time. And he was wrestling a match and scored first and was winning the match. And all the other mats had stopped, and all the attention had turned. His parents were there to that match, what was going to happen. At the last second, Mark's opponent managed to score and won. And this gym went silent, and it was like just the air left the room. And then an incredible thing happened. The referee went to raise Mark's opponent's hand, and that young man pulled his arm away, grabbed Mark's hand, and raised it. And in that moment, that moment of sportsmanship, this story always bugs me. Okay, try not to cry. All right, don't cry. This simple demonstration of respect and recognition for a hard-fought match was Mark had all he'd ever wanted. And so it was just an incredible moment of why sport brings so much into our lives. Now, Mark actually went on to win a match at the next tournament. Needless to say, his parents and I had a little cry and some hugs, and so it was a special day. Playing and coaching rugby has taken me all over the world, and I have a million stories, and I really do love to tell my stories. Just ask my friends and family. I could tell you about taking the first women's team to Bermuda and then ending up getting banned from the country, or being forced to sing the Flower of Scotland to the national women's team just to see if this Canadian named MacDonald was Scottish enough, or I managed to take the entire Welsh men's national team to Tailgate Charlie's in Hamilton for a drink. These stories have shaped me and brought an incredible group of people into my life. Rugby culture is one of the most inviting and accepting cultures of any sport in the world. When I moved to Montreal to go to Teachers College, I just ran into some guys wearing rugby jerseys and said, hey, I want to play rugby this weekend. And they took me to the Old Dublin pub, introduced me to a guy named Des. And then that weekend I played for the Montreal Irish, and I immediately had a rugby family in Montreal. And I had known a soul the day before. I flew to England to teach, and got off the plane and immediately called the Barking Rugby Club. And that next day I had an immediate family, 5,000 kilometers from home. Rugby is a physical sport, to say the least. But when the final whistle blows, we're all rugby players, and we pick each other up, we go inside, we share some laughs, and we may even share a beer. It doesn't matter your race, religion, gender, politics, none of that trumps being part of the rugby community. Rugby is the bond that binds us. I've been fortunate to coach rugby, and I've had some incredible success, but my favorite part of being involved in the sport is sharing the culture of rugby. Just ask my wife, who continues to have to put up with with wayward rugby players sleeping on our couch, sometimes even getting into bed with us. And she's like, what the hell? Oh, hi, Dave. And it's like, he had to tell me a story. What are you going to do? She just rolls over and goes back to sleep. I love you, honey. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family. Mom, despite being a single parent, you always found a way to ensure I got every opportunity to play sports and travel and do whatever needed to done. Didn't matter if we could afford it. And I'm sorry for crashing the car. And to my beautiful wife, Sarah, and my awesome little guy, Garen, thank you for being so understanding and letting Dad be away so often to do this crazy thing we call rugby. Thank you.
I'd like to call upon the presenter, Jim Atack. For the next recipient is Chris McKenzie, builder of hockey.
Thank you, Paisley. It is my pleasure to introduce Chris McKenzie. Chris is honored as a builder of hockey from the 1991 to the present era. Chris began his playing career in the Niagara Falls minor leagues, which led to playing in the NCAAs and professionally in the Finnish Elite League. Chris started his coaching career at the University of Massachusetts in the NCAA, and he had assistant coaching stints at Niagara University and Ohio State University. But it took his reins as head coach for the University of Connecticut women's team, where he was recognized as a 3-time runner-up as Coach of the Year in the NCAA. Well, Chris, you're not a runner-up in Niagara Falls. You're in first place. Congratulations. Please look at the video.
I had nominated Chris because I think he's a well-accomplished athlete, coach in person. He's done so much in hockey, from playing his childhood at Niagara Falls minor hockey system, coming up through the ranks, winning championships at the junior C level twice, then moving on to the junior B Canucks, and then at the same time keeping his academic standards so high in honor roll status going through high school, which led to many offers from Canadian American universities. He started his hockey coaching career after he finished his professional hockey career in Finland, where he played for the Finnish Elite League. And he was asked to go to University of Massachusetts as assistant coach. I think as a coach, what Chris I think would want from any of his players is to excel scholastically at their school, first and foremost, and secondly to strive to be the best person they can be as a student, as a player, as a teammate, as a colleague, to work hard and know that everything you put in, you'll get out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Niagara Falls Wall of Fame, Chris McKenzie.
I'm Laura McKenzie's brother. I got one laugh. That's good. Jim, thanks for that wonderful introduction. That picture of me there is about 20 years old and 20 pounds ago. I saw a video up here earlier, and it said the word proud. And to start this speech, I'm proud to be from Niagara Falls. I'm humbled to be recognized and enshrined on this wall. That includes my godfather, uncle, many previous coaches and teammates, many other amazing people that have done so much for our community. Flory, thank you for that wonderful nomination. You look great on the video too, bud. The Sports Wall of Fame Committee, thank you for your hard work. 30 years. And I think with these videos, I think you're going to keep this because it's really good. Lori, thank you for your work. If I have the name right, I think it's Sarah doing the work on these videos. They're incredible. Thank you so much for that. Our esteemed city officials, thank you for making it here today. And thank you for the work you're doing in the community. It's an honor to be here with Gary, Ron, Ernest, Immel, and the St. Mike's soccer team. It's an honor to be here with you. I'm going to give you a tragically hip quote because I live in the United States and we don't get enough of it there. And it's a lyric, "You are in everything I do." It's from one of their songs. And I think of my minor hockey coaches who gave me the opportunity to love this sport. I think of my junior college coaches, my junior coaches who gave me an opportunity to prove myself at a higher level and reach another level. I think of my college coaches who not only let me play the sport I love while getting education, they let me start my coaching career as a profession. I think of my good friend and brother, Nate Hanrahan, who was my college roommate, junior teammate, and he's not here today, but I'm thinking about him. This is where it's going to get a little tough for me. My family, mom and dad. Dad, I know this is a big day for you because it's the second time in my life I've seen you wear a suit. The other time was my wedding. This is big for the old guy. It's big. Thank you for showing me what an incredible work ethic and passion looks like. You built the backyard rinks that we'd skate on, provided endless amounts of electrical tape, and provided these amazing car rides to the rink. And when I say car rides, if you've seen an episode of The Dukes of Hazzard, for the younger people, maybe Fast and Furious movies, this is exactly what the kind of car rides I'm talking about. I was never late for a game. Mom, thank you so much for showing me what compassion and support looks like. You were always there. To you, it was, oh, you played a good game. I could have been the worst player on the ice. You played a good game. Thank you for that. You also volunteered at the Stanford Arena snack bar. That was some of the best food I ever ate. Both of you gave Laura and I the foundation to serve others. And watching your example of how in your own professions you would serve others, it's no surprise that that is what we do today in our lives. So I couldn't be up here without you. Thank you. And my sister, now this is where it gets going, okay? I'm proud to be your brother. Sharing today with you is so special. Your passion for hockey took you around the world and gave you a beautiful family in Denmark. Anyone you've associated with holds you in the highest esteem, me included. I want to thank you for inspiring me in my coaching career. It was your stamp of approval I needed and respected most, and I hope I'm making you proud. To my wife, Allison, thank you for supporting me throughout everything. The last 12 years of marriage have had its challenges. Anyone who's a coach's wife understands this. You're an independent, strong, caring person who lives the coach's wife lifestyle amazingly. No one does it better. I'm always excited to come back to Niagara Falls, and my wife is excited too, especially when there's flash sales at Lululemon. To my children, Morgan and Ren. My 8-year-old Morgan affectionately calls me Mackie Wacky. That's what she's calling me right now. She's 8 years old. I properly addressed her. I said it will now be Wall of Fame Mackie Wacky. Thank you to both of you. Thank you, Morgan, for being the light of my life. You've changed me. I'm a better coach because of you. And thank you for being a wonderful daughter. My son, Ren, he wasn't sure he wanted to come here today. But when he found out that this might be on YouTube, he got really excited. That's a 5-year-old for you. That's really it. I just want to thank you all so much for this. I didn't know how this would go. I held it together. I will guarantee you my sister will not when she gets up here. Thanks again to everyone. Enjoy your day.
I'd like to call on Gord Singleton. The next award recipient is Laura McKenzie, athlete in hockey.
Thank you, Chris. I'm now an emotional wreck here. It's my pleasure to introduce Laura McKenzie. Laura is being honored as an athlete in hockey from the 1991 to present day era. Laura started her playing career at an early age, and her skills took her literally around the world. She medaled with the under-18 Ontario team, earned 2 Canadian University National Championships at Concordia University, a national silver medal with Adelaide's women's hockey team in Australia, and went on to capture a 3rd national championship but this time it was with the Red Over women's team in Denmark. Though we're recognizing Laura for her playing career, it must be noted that she was an assistant coach with Australia, who won the International Ice Hockey Federation World Championship Division III. I imagine Laura had a hard time getting through metal detectors at the airport. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen.
I nominated Laura to be on the Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame, again, because she is very deserving of this prestigious award. She's worked so hard her whole life, from starting playing ringette to playing Niagara Falls minor hockey for 8 years with the boys, because there was no girls hockey at that time. And then after, I think, 7 or 8 years, she continued to play with the boys in Niagara Falls minor hockey, but also played Stony Creek girls minor hockey when it first started. And from there, she just progressed to a higher level hockey, to playing for Mississauga for a pro team there, which represented Canada. She, at the same time, never let her schooling fall. She was an honor roll student, and for her, it also led to a number of scholarship offers from the United States and Canada. And she chose to stay, as the program will state, at Concordia University in Montreal, where she played there for 3 years. And did very, very well. And then from there, she went to Wayne State, where she captained the team, was also selected MVP of the team. A funny story about Chris and Laura. They're very close as siblings, and they still are to this day. But when Laura was younger, Chris was a hockey fanatic, as was his sister, and Chris used to put her in front of the garage door and fire pucks at her. And Laura would just, as a trooper, would just stay there and stop everything. But Chris missed it a few times during his training as a child and put quite a few dents in the garage door. And his dad had to tell him to stop that, went to an Indian rubber ball because there was too much damage to the garage door. And he actually demolished an FM radio that Donnie, his dad, had used for business.
Please welcome to the stage Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame recipient, Laura McKenzie.
Yeah, my brother's probably right. I won't make it through this, but thanks. I'm humbled to be here today and would like to thank the City of Niagara Falls and everybody behind the scenes that made this award or recognition possible. I would like to congratulate my fellow inductees and feel honored to be a part of such a great group of people. Well, also my brother. In particular, I'd like to thank Flori Massey for the nomination and the great video. Without a doubt, I would not be here today without a strong support system of family and friends who encouraged me to follow my dreams. Whew. I didn't think I'd cry at this point in time. And pursue my love of hockey. As a young girl in the mid-'80s with a passion for hockey, the chance to play minor hockey was non-existent compared to the many opportunities available for the girls today. Since hockey was not an option, ringette was a close second to me getting on the ice. Lucky for me, I had two amazing coaches, Ralph Bymont and Steve Davis, who showed me what being on a team was about. Whether we were winning or losing by 10, we were still singing, having fun, and supporting each other on the bench. Thanks to my mother's perseverance, when I was 8 years old, I was granted permission to play Niagara Falls minor hockey with the boys. Playing with the boys made me stronger because I always felt like I was trying to prove myself. I want to thank those boys that didn't let me take the puck, but instead made me work even harder just because I was a girl. In my teens, I played in Stony Creek and Mississauga, both teams stepping stones for my hockey career. Both teams had players I looked up to, coaches who saw something in me that at the time I didn't see in myself. During those years, I had a number of great coaches, teammates, and opponents who inspired me. I would like to recognize Eunice Campbell, who made me team captain when I didn't see myself as a leader. Rick Osborne and Deb Adams for taking a chance on an unknown small native Niagara girl and giving me the opportunity to play for the Ontario under-18s in the Junior Nationals. And Tamara Jones for being my lifelong teammate and friend. University was when I experienced the thrill of playing against some of the best female hockey players in the world. Sharing the locker room and ice with Olympic gold medalist Cami Granado and Team Canada players Nancy Deschamps and Delaney Collins was pivotal in my development as an athlete. My Concordia University coaches, Julie Healy and Les Lawton, led us to becoming the first ever CIAU Women's National Champions. I am grateful that my involvement in hockey allowed me to travel and play around the world. North America, Russia, Japan, Australia, most of Europe, including Denmark, where I've lived for the last 17 years. It was in Denmark where I had the privilege of playing for Heikki Karvinen, one of the best technique coaches a player could ask for, and he taught me that it was never too late to learn. Throughout my entire hockey career, I've always had a strong support network of friends and family, whether my friends Lisa and Sally cheering me on in the stands. Breathe. Or keeping me company in my change room, aka the furnace room at Stamford Arena, or the first aid room at Jack Bill. Or all my A and Meyer teammates from various sports through, although enjoying seeing me on the basketball court, were able to respectively remind me that I should probably stick to hockey. A huge thank you to all my aunts and uncles who opened their homes for a bite to eat or a place to crash while I was playing on the road. Hockey has given me the opportunity to meet some amazing people and learn so much about myself. None of this would have been possible without the love, support, and life lessons I've learned from 3 of the most amazing people in my life. Thank you, Dad, for building the rink every winter. I know you built it for Chris, but I took advantage of that. You taught me the importance of hard work and loyalty, character traits which have helped me be a better person and player. To my brother, Chris, thank you for inspiring me. I always looked up to you as a player and learned so much by following you around the rink. Thank you for making me feel like I was always part of the neighborhood hockey game, although now I realize you just needed a goalie. Mom, there's not enough words to thank you. I appreciate everything you did, but it wasn't until I became a mom, that I realized the full extent of your sacrifice. Thank you for being my taxi driver, psychologist, nurse, coach, cheerleader, and ultimate fan. You opened the doors to me into a hockey world and taught me how to be resilient and stand up for what I believed in. I am very honored to be inducted into the Niagara Falls Sports Hall of Fame and grateful for the support of my partner, Klaus, and our 2 children, Victor and Ella, who I happen to believe are my greatest accomplishments. Thank you.
I'm calling on Gord Singleton for the last award recipient, which is the St. Michael Catholic High School Senior Boys Soccer Team 2008.
It is my pleasure to introduce the St. Michael Catholic High School Senior Boys Soccer Team, who are being honored today in the 1991 to the present day era for winning the 2008 OFSA High School Championship. This is St. Mike's first OFSA Championship gold medal team and holds a special place in the rich sporting tradition they have built at their high school in Niagara Falls. Please watch the video.
Well, the 2008 Senior Boys Soccer OFSA gold medal was significant not only to that team, but to the entire St. Michael community. It was the first time that a team at St. Michael had won an OFSA gold, and it really served as a sense of pride to the whole St. Michael community, as well as to the players. The players, after that victory, were extremely excited, and we had pointed out how it was the first gold medal for the school. And that banner that went up there, which they all signed, will be there as long as St. Michael is there, and it'll be remembered as the first gold medal.
My fondest memory of 2008, the morning of the championship game, when I went to go knock on the doors, I came to the realization that the entire team was in one room, holding hands in a circle, doing their own little team prayer. So I realized at that point, beyond all the coaching and the X's and O's and the strategies, that the fate was in their hands, and they were really dedicated and focused to competing as a team.
The championship game, because we were in Sarnia and the host team was in the final against us. Their entire school was there watching, and our best player, or one of our better players, couldn't play in the final game because he had accumulated too many yellow cards. And another player was in the same situation, and we were down a man for most of the game. So we're playing the host team in Sarnia, in a championship, a man down, and to win that game with those odds against us was magical.
Please welcome to the stage Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame recipients, the St. Michael Catholic High School Senior Boys 2008 OFSA Gold Medal Soccer Team. Please come forward. When we get everybody up here settled, then we'll introduce everybody. We're not sure if everybody's here, but we're going to say everybody and hand something out. Our first member is Sergio Martin. James DeFilippis. Joseph DeFilippis. Lucas Felino. Mitchell Gartner. Robert Kearns. Dustin Mayolo. Christopher Marquez. Anthony Perry. Justin Shug. Kevin Smith. Joseph Taddeo. Tyler Tonette. Julian Tropea. Mario Trapasso. Christopher Webb.
Oh, hi,
Dad.
Okay. Webb. There you go. You're welcome.
Daniel Zappatelli. Head coach Pat Ricci. Dominic Scazafava, coach. Sandro Sica, coach. and J.P. Verrucci, coach.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for attending today. I'd also like to congratulate the other nominees or the other inductees. This is an incredible honor. The fact that I have to speak on behalf of such an incredible group, it could be a little nerve-wracking, but I'll try to keep it together. I don't know if it's accurate to say head coach. Every time we had an opportunity to put our names on the game sheet, it was just we put the names beside each other, even though it did ask for manager, assistant coach. We worked in a manner that we shared responsibility, and the work ethic that we put into practices was equal from managers to coaches to players. I'd like to thank Brian Carter, who is currently a colleague of mine, department head. He secretly put our name in the hat, for lack of better words, and told me several years later that, hey, I nominated the St. Michael soccer team for induction into the Hall of Fame. And it took about 3 years. And I'm very appreciative, and I know that the group is as well. I'd like to thank Lori Albanese for putting up with us during that video and some of the hard work that she does behind the scenes, and obviously the Sports Wall of Fame, Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame Committee. I'd really like to appreciate and extend my thanks to them as well. Mr. Paul Barchese and Mr. Mario Ciccarelli unfortunately couldn't be here today, or Ted Farrell, and our current principal, Glenn Gifford, but they are very supportive of athletics and of our student body. They are constantly reminding us that the hard work after school is equally as important during school to make these gentlemen obviously believe in their mission and their commitment to whatever they are committed to, whether it be athletics or academics. You know, to summarize this entire journey that we experienced as a team, we've been fortunate enough to coach some of these guys 3 or 4 years. Some of the guys that are not in attendance here are either out of province or out of country, pursuing education, teaching, still playing sports at a competitive level. We've known these guys since they were in grade 9, and I say that with a smile because yesterday we gathered for some pizza and wings, and we had some stories, and it was interesting to hear other people's take on the entire season of 2008. It didn't come with without any blood, sweat, and tears, I can tell you that. These guys were committed. They started in early February. We have the luxury of taking them out of country to my alma mater in West Virginia, which was always, for the first 6 or 7 years, something very competitive, an opportunity to build team camaraderie, and we collectively looked forward to the competition and the team bonding. This season itself proved to be one that was very special. We ended up being finalists at the Can-Am tournament in West Virginia, but we really started to see a group of fine young gentlemen willing to work for one another. I've learned over my years of coaching and playing sports, specifically soccer, that you really don't have much until you have leadership. And this team had an incredible captain, incredible young seniors as well that would toe the line, and were very committed to working with hand in hand with the coaches and hand in hand with our managers and any staff that we brought in. You have to keep your academics in line. You couldn't go get a haircut or have a dentist appointment when we had practice, as we've learned from Mr. Scazzafava. We taught them commitment, work ethic, and I've learned from them that you can never count yourself out. When we were in Sarnia, we played several games, and we ran into some injury problems, some discipline issues as well. Coaching 20 years, I never really, still to this day, think when we're going to all Ontario championships that we have a team that's going to win a gold medal. I think statistically, you're looking at less than 5% of the student body that will ever medal, never mind, maybe even less than that will receive a gold medal. But this will always be a very special one, not only for the reason that it's the first and only one in St. Michael history for a team, but because of the manner of how it all occurred.
being faced with a variety of other heavily strong squads that were not only bigger in size, but also had many members to support them, i.e. the final game being played in front of the host team and the host community. We managed to pull off some double overtime games, penalty kick games, and Mario Trapasso, our goalie, literally, for a lack of better words, stood on his head and made some outstanding saves. I can remember the final match where, unfortunately, 4 starters did not have the opportunity to play because of discipline issues, but it was nothing that really we never considered to be at an issue where they were at fault. They were team players, and they played the game with a lot of grit, and we instilled that upon them. Many of these guys you're looking up here at probably played more than 1 or 2 sports. So you have a band of misfits that we convinced that could play soccer and play it damn well. You've got a number of guys here that could play football at a pretty high level, basketball, hockey, soccer. They're pretty much so athletes, if not some even athletes of the year. I wouldn't be surprised. So with great leadership, that game ended up in penalty shots, and I believe Mario saved probably 3. And there were a number of guys in this group right here that probably didn't want to take the shot because of how nerve-wracking it would be, and I don't blame them. But to win that in that manner, in the first time ever, it'll always be remembered in St. Michael history. If I have to give you my fondest memory, it has to be that I realized walking in that room one day when they were in a hand-in-hand circle and praying that I really believed at this point this could be a gold medal team. They taught me that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. They showed me that no matter what we have on paper, it speaks volumes to what we have in the room in terms of characters. And to be a successful coach, I've learned you have to manage personalities. And this would have never, in terms of every single individual here, from Dan Zappatelli, who scored an overtime goal to put us through, to the personalities in the room, that times where we didn't see eye to eye, and then obviously Sandro Sika and myself being new to the school and trying to continue to work with the soccer players and the excitement that we had. We learned from one another on how to work with each other, and I wouldn't trade this for any other moment. And I hope to share this moment with these individuals, whether it be over some pizza and beer in the near future, or at a celebration like when one of them or several of them get married or bring children in the world. So again, I'd like to thank you and thank the team. It is with an incredible amount of honor that I get to speak on behalf of this team, and I thank you all.
You want some of them standing down?
10 here and 10 down here.
So some standing down?
Yeah. All right. Got 10 down here and 10 up here.
I'll go down. Oh, you're a coach.
I know Angus Scott is here. He's here. He didn't sit down. And no one's here. Paul Kay can't make it. So I skip it. No, you can still read it. It's very short. And who's here? And we've got Portage Baker is not here, and the Warrens are here, or Tim Warrens, and Lori Nicole is representing.
Well, we only have about 12 more pages to go, so hang in there. We want to make sure that they get a good picture. So one more time, congratulations to all the year's inductees on their accomplishments. Thanks, Vic. Every year we honor the sponsors as well. This was initiated in 1994 by the committee. This award is presented to a corporation or group in the recognition of a minimum of 5 years' significant contribution to sports in the city of Niagara Falls. And we are honoring 2 today. One is Paul Cade, who is not here, and it's for Doc McGilligan's Restaurant and Irish Pub, and their Best Western Karen Craft. And the second is the Niagara Falls Review. Is Angus Scott here, Editor-in-Chief? Okay, come on up. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Cade family. They're the owners, still are, have been generous community sponsors of sports in Niagara Falls for many years. They've supported things like the Niagara Wasp rugby team, the Niagara Soccer Association, the Niagara Falls Minor Hockey, Niagara Bauer Challenge, GNBA, the Niagara Falls Falcon Minor Bantam, the Al Reed Hockey Tournament, the Cataract Hockey Tournament, Cheer Canada, Ontario Curling, Skate Ontario. I would say that if you need support, you need to go to them because they'll give it to you. They've also been great promoters of this being a golf destination. So a special thank you to the Cade family for their support. Now I'd like to talk about the Niagara Falls Review. Is that you? Whoa. Niagara Falls Review has been supporting the Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame Committee for 30 years. Every year, the review will feature photographs, interviews, and stories on each of the inductees, promote the event, support our local schools and sports groups. They're just great. And I want Niagara Falls Review to stay Niagara Falls Review and not go regional in name. I don't mind reading all the obituaries. So will you please you've given them, oh, look, let's see, what did you get?
You got a plaque.
Nice, nice. You're going to hang that someplace that? I am. Okay. So thank you. The community appreciates all of your efforts and work. But did you want to talk?
No, that's okay. I just wanted to.
Because I'm not going to let you because we're running late. The next group of sponsors had been with us for 30 years. That was way back in the beginning, and we thought we wanted to have some food, so we got to get some people to da-da-da-da-da. And they've stuck with us this whole time. And the first one is Lococo's Fruits and Vegetables. So I'm going to ask Councillor Laurie Lococo to come up. Portage Bakery, you all know Portage Bakery. That's Ross and Yolanda Baroni. And Tim Hortons, which I think most of you know, Tom and Marianne Warren. So come on up. 30 years. Hi there, nice to see you. We certainly do appreciate your support all these years. One more clap. Do you want to stand up and do some moving? Okay, thank you. Did you get your picture? Did you get it? Yoy, she's going to have to practice. Thank you. I'd like to now ask Councillor Victor if he will officially dedicate the new inductees to the wall. There it is up there, brother.
Thanks, Paisley. On behalf of City Council, it's a pleasure and an honor to officially dedicate the 2018 inductees to the Niagara Falls Sports Wall of Fame.
Now you're finished, I think. Okay, we're supposed to be at 3 o'clock. What's the time? Okay, we're nearly 20 minutes late. Come on, Paisley, talk fast. These are the thank yous. We wish to acknowledge and thank all of the nominators of this year's inductees. We wish to acknowledge and thank the sponsors and supporters and all you people for coming and sitting and listening to this. I want you to know about the Virtual Sports Wall of Fame, which is the Niagara Falls Public Library. We are in partnership with them. For 15 years we've been on that. I don't know what it means, but you have to get on that high stuff and understand it. I don't understand. Too old. The link is www.niagarafalls.caswof. There are 2 touch screen monitors down the hall there, if anybody's interested in seeing that, because we've got all of everything on that as well. We've had over 112,000 visitors on it and 2 million page views, whatever it means. Special thanks to Christopher Dunn from the Niagara Falls Public Library for all the time he spent putting this information in. If any of the inductees would like an additional plaque, you have to talk to Lori Albanese. All right, I'd like you just to have a quick look at my committee, if they can move fast up onto the stage. Paul Campagano, chair of the 1990 era, Jim Atack, Shirley Fisher, Bill Irvine, Don Jackson, and Brian Mulligan. That is in one of the half of my group. The rest is from the 1991 to the present era, and that's Gord Singleton is chair, Emily Allen, Gary McDonald, Mike Strange, and Mick Wolf. And our honorary chair is the mayor, and our lifelong members are Carolyn Gibbs and Klein Stevenson. Now this year, we lost one of our originals, a wonderful friend and volunteer committee member, Barney Barnes. You must have all met Barney somewheres because he worked for the city for 44 years and was on the committee from the beginning. And he was an athlete, and he was just great. And just recently, another one of our members, former members, Joe Mancuso, passed. So our condolences are to both the Barnes and the Mancuso family. Councillor Pietrangelo, I want to thank.
Give me 1 second.
Yes.
I have to say something.
Oh, you have to say something.
So, yes, this is our 30th anniversary of the Wall of Fame, and our committee wanted to present you as a favor Now, I've been here 29 years. Paisley's been here since its inception, and it was really interesting earlier when Victor Pietrangelo was saying all the nice things about Paisley's hard work and dedication and love of Niagara Falls. I almost thought that he stole my script. I had to check, but it's all true. And if 2 people say the same thing, it must be true. So congratulations, Paisley.
Now, I appreciate this, but keep in mind, I'm an ex-florist, or think of myself as a florist. I do the flowers at the hospital twice every other week. I would never buy 12 roses. I would buy one at a time and enjoy them each. So I'm going to share these with somebody today because everybody should have one of these. Look at how beautiful. Oh my gosh. I don't suppose I've ever had them, but I'll let you hold them. Thank you. Now I've lost my place. Yoy. Here we go. Did we recognize Judy and? How come?
Don't forget we're live streamed too.
We're live stream. What does that mean?
On the city website.
We're on the what? You tell them.
We are live streamed today on the City of Niagara Falls website by Zstream.
I want to acknowledge Ken Todd and Judy, his wife, who used to be my neighbors. They moved away from me. Does that tell you anything? Anyway, thanks for coming. They've been great supporters. Special thanks to Jack Custers and his TV crew for the coverage of today's event. If you want to watch it again, it'll be on January the 30th at 9:30 in the evening, or Friday, February the 1st at 7 o'clock in the evening. Oh, I can't read all that fast. Oh, there's where it says high definition. I still don't know what it means. Have you ever come to our open house? Because we are already getting ready to plan next year's, you know. So our open house, put it on your calendar, is Saturday, April the 13th here from 10 to 11, and you might have somebody that you'd like to nominate. So come and have a coffee and talk about it with us. The nomination forms are available at the Gale Center and McBain and on the website, I think. And the nominations are accepted until May the 3rd. Oh, let's not talk about May. So we hope you've enjoyed the 30th anniversary of the Sports Wall of Fame induction ceremony. This year we created the special videos. Did you like them? Because they took a lot of extra. I think I must have skipped a couple of pages because I've not got Sarah's name someplace. Okay, so I need to thank the Public Library, John Albanese from Studio 55 Digital, and its photographer, Archie Hood, Gord Singleton for sponsoring the video, all our volunteers today. We're going to have some snacks out there. I invite you all to stay. I miss Sarah. Sarah, what's your last name? Say it again. Oh, yes, Sarah Nicholson. She put all of this together, and she's a student at Niagara College. And she's doing a great job and did a great job. And somehow I lost the page. So I think that's it. Did you have a good time? Will you come again? Thank you. See, you buggered me in.
Throw in that last video.